And good morning. It is time for another Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network, but no coaches today. The coaches we're leaving out of this. We're going to talk speech with a couple of the Valley City High School's speech teammates, team members, that's the word I was looking for. Carter Haas and Abby Wilmos join us. How you doing, gang?
Pretty good.
Doing all right? Pretty good. Is this too early for you? Are you about ready? Just normal the time you get into school?
Around normal time.
Okay.
When you have chemistry, very normal.
When you have chemistry? Well, we've got speech. You've had, about 5 meets so far, 4 or 5 meets?
Yeah.
We're getting down there, only 2 left before state. Carter, I'll start with you. How has the season gone as far as you're concerned?
Well, we started off with pretty big numbers. We got a lot of recruits in, and we were working hard. We are working hard. And we went to it's going to be 6 meets after this Saturday. Mm-hmm. And so far, so good. We have our state qualifiers. Our kids are working hard, working on their scripts. Everybody's putting in a lot of effort. The new coach is doing a great job. And the captains are working to help the kids as best we can. And we're just going into our meets with a good attitude. And we're staying strong and just hoping for the best at the end of the day. So it's a great start, and we're just keeping moving.
Keeping.
Yeah, keeping.
Abby, how about the younger kids? How the kind of the new recruits and the younger kids fit into this situation?
They for sure surprised us, I think we can say the least. We have a lot of younger kids this year that have either showed us their natural talent or just gained the confidence this year to just go out and do it. We have a first-year member, Addie Fetch, who's placed top 5 at every meet, and this is her first season. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of kids that just have that natural ability showing through.
How's it gone for you personally this year?
It has gone really good. I think personally one of my goals is always to help the younger kids, and that's been something we've created such a great space for them to just have that confidence. And placing-wise, I think everyone in our team has really shown through.
How about you personally, Carter? How's the season gone for you?
I've been taking top 3 in most of my tournaments this year. Extemp and radio is what I've mainly been competing in. We have a 2-event limit rule for this year. And I go into extemp, go into radio, I take top 3. And the only meet was Shiloh, where I took top 5 for both events. So far so good for me. Like I said, for all the other kids, so far so good. It's been a lot better of a season than years prior, because I keep growing in it and I keep learning, and they're both just my favorite events. And it's just a lot of fun to compete in them and just only do 2 this year, kind of see how that change works. And she's right, the younger kids are crazy good this year.
Right.
Addie Fetch has been placing really well. Cooper Anderson, his second year in speech, took first in entertain at Shanley against some great Fargo competition, and a lot of the entertain kids in general, like Addie Fetch, Kylie Van Bruggen, Cooper Anderson, they've all been sweeping entertain. I mean, they're taking top 2 through 4 every meet, and they're doing really well. So it's a big deal to see all those younger kids do so well and see everybody just working hard and getting the placements that they deserve.
And you've qualified for state in radio?
And extemp.
Or in both, and extemp, both of them you've qualified. How about you, Abby? You still trying to get that qualification? You're in.
I qualified in impromptu.
Impromptu. Mm-hmm. Explain impromptu, if you will.
It's basically where you get 2 quotes on a table and you decide which one you want to do, and you have at maximum 3 minutes to prep, and then you just give up and speak it.
Mm-hmm. 3 minutes to prep
so
that's not a lot of time.
No.
Though you think about it, 3 minutes can be. I mean, it can be a lot of time, but still to do something like that, probably not when you're seeing it for the first time. If you got it 2 days ago, we're good.
Yeah, it's really easy. I've been doing it for 5 years now,
Okay.
So I kind of had the hang of it.
Is that your go-to? Is that your favorite too?
Mm-hmm, it is. That's my event for sure.
Okay, so and that's so far that's all you've qualified.
Yeah.
But you still can qualify in one more?
Yes.
Okay. And that's it. There's a 2 limit that you can do in state, even if you qualify for multiple?
Yes.
Okay.
'Cause every tournament we used to do 4 that you can compete in, and then in
Right.
state it's always 2 events that you can bring to state.
Okay, because I know in swimming you can qualify multiple times, but you can only pick 3 or 4 that you can be in. That's just one example. Coming up, you've got Barnes County North here on Saturday is next up. So what kind of competition are you going to see on Saturday?
You know, I don't think we're ever like 100% sure, but the competition-wise is going to be a lot of Class B schools since we're at a BCM meet, which gives a lot of our younger kids the opportunity because in a Class B world, you have an A-B split, so you can get second or first. So our competition would be pretty equal to them, and we should see high placings.
And then in 2 weeks, Cheyenne is the host for the EDC. And is that where you can still get more qualifiers here this weekend and next?
Yeah, so like what she said, when you go into BCN, the A-B split, like the A kid could take first, B kid could take second, but they both qualify for their state tournament in that case. And then you go into EDC, so that's going to be West Fargo, Cheyenne, Horace, Davies, North South, Grand Forks, Valley, like all the Class A schools from the East, which is very tough competition. And it's your last chance to take the top 33% in each event and state qualify. But we're at a point in the speech world where, you know, you have Horace High School with a team of well over 60 kids this year, by far the biggest team in the state's history, going back at least 20 years, which is going to go into EDC with pre-qualifiers, almost 4 in each event already. So now they can go into EDC, place their kids how they want, and even if they can't bring them all to state, they can bring the biggest state team they want because they have the kids at their disposal.
Sure.
So if they do as well as they have been during the season where all of their kids are constantly placing, it's kind of like, you know, are they going to take out a lot of the positions of that top 33% in each event to stay qualified? But so far, you know, we, Cheyenne, West Fargo, we've been really holding our own. It's been great competition. Horse is a lot of fun. And EDC is definitely going to be a play out of future casts to state now that state is a 3-round tournament. So
I was going to ask both of you, and Abby, I'll ask you this first. Being a first-year coach that you have this year, but have you guys taken on kind of a leadership role too to kind of help her work out the kinks?
I think we have. I think right away when we first met her, we kind of we first like gained a knowledge of like what she knew of speech, and we kind of made sure that we were like set in ourselves and kind of explained to her that we can take that leadership role. Since we have been doing it, all of our captains have been amazing, and we've all kind of taken an opportunity to teach kids, help them, kind of mentor a group of kids each, and that's been something that I think has given us a leadership that has been really beneficial.
Is it Sean, the coach?
Yes.
She was student congress as well and kind of stepped in last minute to help out. And having her too, that doing student congress and work speech too, does that help you guys a little bit, that you knew her already and kind of knew what she was doing? Yeah,
so like when she had helped with student congress, me and Ada had kind of like stepped up to help. You remember that story. And it was the same thing with speech. She obviously knew a little bit more about speech since she had been in it before, but it's a new world. It's NSD 8 points, you know, the National Speech and Debate Association. So there's a lot more like behind the scenes work to do. And she really did step up and take a lead, but as captain, she kind of told us like, you guys can keep the traditions that you have in your team, like let this be your work. And she gave us the responsibility. We were all very willing to take it, and we were really excited. And we did, and it really helps that she was like there in Congress, knows us, knew me and Abby and Ada, and then stepped into speech and just locked in. I mean, it was a great time, and she's been putting in a huge amount of work, more than you could think of just behind the scenes. And us captains, we've been helping the kids, like Abby said, and overall just like keeping the way things we want them to be, like they are in the past, and advancing them into the future, and just like keeping tradition.
Barnes County North this weekend, then the regionals, then state. Is it tough to grasp that it's almost season's almost wrapped up here?
I think so, especially now being juniors. I've kind of been like slowly like, oh my goodness, it's almost like coming to an end. We only have one more season left. So I think for sure it's been a crazy fast season this year. But for sure, crazy fast but good, that means. So.
Well, hopefully. How about you too? You know, as a junior, you're like, we're almost done.
Well, and it's our last year in Class A, so
that's true.
Next year we go to Class B, but like it's our last year to kind of get these kids. Here's your Class A experience. Here's all these big Fargo schools. We're still going to go to the national qualifying tournament and everything, but this is your last chance to get that, because once we go Class B, it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be a fun year next year.
Yeah, and you got more schools, and competition is still the same regardless, A or B. It does not matter. Speech does not know class. It knows talent.
Well, when you go to Class B, a lot of those schools don't always go to that qualifying tournament.
Sure.
And, you know, some of them, while they're like Enderlin and Kindred, very competitive, you have Enderlin, who's been in national qualifiers. They've seen diverse competition. Their top 15 kids, the only 15 that they have are taking first through second. Now you put in Kindred, who has amazingly talented kids, but they also have a lot more team members.
Sure.
So it doesn't even matter at that point. As long as they have more, they'll do better. So the competition in Class B is tough, but I think when Valley City goes in, we're gonna bring as many kids as we can, try it out, and after Oaks, taking first at Oaks, we have kind of a future cast of what
Sure.
it might look like, and
Okay.
it's gonna be fun. We're all the schools, everyone, we're all very excited for it. So.
Final question for both of you. As you head into this weekend and next weekend, is there other events you want to try to qualify in? You're in one right now. Are you thinking you can try, or are you sticking with that?
Well, me and my sister, we actually just made a switch. I was gonna try to qualify in extent, but my sister needed a duo partner, so now we're trying to qualify in
Okay.
humorous duo, and hopefully that is what we're going in, and hopefully I'm hoping to see a good placing at EDC2 in my impromptu to kind of give me what state is gonna look like too.
So you can move up. Even though you qualified, you can get a little bit better by another placing.
Yeah, and just get a little bit more confidence before you head into state.
Okay, how about you?
I was going to try impromptu, but I think I'm just gonna keep with radio and extemp. I'm the only qualified kid we have in extemp as of right now, so I know I have to kind of do that, and I just love radio, so I can't leave that behind. But yeah, we'll have our impromptu. We have an impromptu qualifier, so I think I'm just gonna stick with what I have.
All right, stay with what you know
Yeah,
and try to improve on it. All right.
especially radio.
Especially radio. All right. Well, Carter Haas, Abby and Wilmus, guys, thanks for coming in. Good luck this weekend at BCN, next weekend, and we'll have you in before state and after state, and hopefully have some state champs to talk about. Appreciate it.
For sure.
That's again Carter Haas and Abby Wilmus from the Valley City Highlander speech team. We'll come back, wrap things up here on Coach's Corner from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. And back here on Coach's Corner as we wrap up this edition of Coach's Corner. Of course, spring sports are still in their practice stages. Track did have an indoor meet at UND here last weekend at the Mike Randall Open, and there's a lot of personal bests, a lot of younger kids that got out there on the indoor meet. I know Greta Govan set the new meet record. I believe it was in the 400. She took first, Bryn Leak took second, and they set new meet records at Mike Randall. So track is into their indoor season. They've got state indoor track coming up next weekend up in Fargo. So we'll have Coach Trevor Bacalar down next week. Of course, baseball and softball still practicing. They are practicing outside. That's the best part of having some decent weather. They're actually getting a chance to get outside a little bit and practice outdoors, and they'll have their first games that first week in April. And that's kind of where we're at right now with the spring sports season just getting going. And so we'll have a lot more to talk about with our coaches as we get into some games here in the next couple of weeks. So that's going to wrap things up here on this edition of Coach's Corner this week. Again, our thanks to our camera operator and technical director today, Brian Krewald, and also our guests, Abby Wilmus and Carter Haas, for joining us today. And as usual, you for joining us here on the Highlander Activity Network. We'll be back next week with another Coach's Corner here from the Hack on the Highlander